Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Choose to rise. Choose to rise. This is very important. Very, very important. You know, I always say keep rising at the end of my videos. But you know what? You got to make a choice. Let me tell you what. And that's always been a big theme of mine for decades. Just a choice. You have to choose that you want to win. See, you know, I get some people, they'll comment publicly, they'll hit me up privately, sometimes talking face to face, and they'll talk about everything going on in their lives. And I always say the same thing. You got to choose to rise up. You have to choose to rise. You got to make a choice. Ultimately, everything in life is a choice. No matter what, even when bad stuff happens to us, we can make a choice to learn from it and to rise up. Or we can make a choice to let it keep us down. That's our greatest thing. Regardless of how you choose to worship Supreme Being, whatever term you want to use, that choice is always there. So if your Supreme Being can give you a choice, that means you can make a choice. You can make a choice. You could be in the worst living condition. Shoot, you might not even have a home. But you know what? And there's plenty of people like that, but then I've met people who made a choice. I have known quite a few men and women who've been in that position of homelessness, but they made a choice not to stay in it. The people who've been sick, I've met people who have been sick. I mean, some even had supposedly incurable diseases, supposedly, but they made a choice. They changed everything about it, and they were able to survive. I've known people who've done what they needed to do, no matter what was coming for them, because they chose to rise up. That's one of the things. You got to make that choice. You got to decide, hey, you know what? You might not like everything going on in your life. Okay, what are you going to do about it? At that single moment that you choose to rise up, at that single moment, you make a difference. I remember when I was first interested in starting a business, and this guy who was a successful businessman himself, he said to me, 95% of it is choosing to start that business. See, a lot of people, they'll want to do something, but they don't choose to make that choice to get it started. See, once you open the door with that choice, everything else opens up. Okay, like, let me use an extreme example. Okay, you might be suffering from some, I don't know, something, medical, mental. The second you make a choice to say, no, I'm going to get better, all of a sudden, you change everything. All of a sudden, your eyes start seeing like different treatments. You start hearing things. Certain things start coming your way. Because you made that choice, then your spirit, or if you don't want to get too, into the spiritual aspect, your subconscious will start saying, oh, this is what you need. I give you a very plain example. I remember times in my life when I had to move. Like when I was cool wherever I was like, I ain't noticed any rental signs or houses on sale, anything like that. Times I had to move, all of a sudden they just popped up. I'm like, well, how long has that been there? And you be like, wait a minute, that's always been there. Because when you make a choice, you start automatically looking for ways to fulfill that choice. Think about it. How do you want to live your life? You might have to make some hard choices. Once you make that choice, you might have to change your circle of friends. You might have to work to get a certification or a degree. You might have to, get education. Of course, you might have to leave that job. You might have to work 2 or 3 jobs. But once you make that choice, everything becomes easier. But see, a lot of people, they don't make that choice. They really don't. Once something happens, they say, oh, woe is me. And I'm going to tell you what, from my own personal perspective, there's been some real tough times. I mean, real low times. I have no problem in admitting it. Anybody try to tell you, oh, life has been great all of their lives, unless they 4 years old or something, haven't experienced life really, they're lying. Everybody's gone through it. But those times that were very low, times I could have just gave up, that's when I tapped into something. I said, no, this is not how it's going to be. And I kept rising no matter what the situation. I would rise from it because I would make the choice to win. You know, it's like an example I saw one time of, it was somebody was talking about this general subject, and they talked about a man, like two men who, you know, their women left them, you know, really hurt them bad. One was like real sad, but he chose to let it get it down, let it get him down. The other one wrote a book about it. He wrote a story and became a millionaire because he chose to rise up no matter what. When bad stuff happened to you, choose to learn from it and choose to get better. Say, this won't happen again. But you have to make that choice. I can't emphasize, you know, seriously, I can't emphasize that enough. No matter what, no matter what. I can't emphasize, I don't care what area of life. You can't point to any areas of life. You know, your home could be destroyed in a natural disaster. You still have a choice on how you want to respond to it. Yes, you lost a lot of things. You lost some heirlooms and everything. But you can make a choice to rise beyond that. I remember when I was a freshman in college, I will never forget this. And, you know, I was that fly freshman. You know, this back in 1984. You know, I had my like fly polos. I was wearing my like fly polo socks. I had all the clothes. I would go to class dressed up with a shirt and necktie on. Oh yeah, looking fly and stuff. But then I remember that May of 1984, the building I was living in, it was a campus-owned apartment building. It burned to the ground. I got out with nothing but pajama bottoms on. Let me say that again. Nothing but pajama bottoms on. It could have been worse because I usually slept in my underwear. I just happened to have pajama bottoms this day. And I could have been sad. And there was a lot of people who felt bad because of it. I mean, they did have to get counseling in all fairness. But I chose to rise beyond that. I said, you know what? I came back. I said, no, this ain't going to interfere with my finals. I could have told them, look, I can't take my finals, but I did take my finals. I would have been allowed to do so too. But I said, no, I'm going to take it. You know, got some new clothes. It wasn't the fly clothes. It was a clothes from Army surplus. But I wore them. But I changed some things too. It actually changed how I was approaching things and really looking at it. Because one of the lessons I got from it was like, you know, I got it out of there alive. Actually met a gentleman who helped me. We had been like, we had kind of a contentious relationship. We ain't really like each other. Yet he was the one who's a lifetime friend to this day. He was the one that like gave me a jacket, gave me his shoes, like just so I could go home in some sweats. And I was like, you know, I got something out of that. You know, because I made a choice to do so. So look, going through life, you got to make that choice. You got to choose what you want to do. And I don't care, it seems tough. Now, is everything going to happen as soon as you make that choice? No, but you're opening the door. You open the door to literally millions of possibilities once you make that choice to rise. All right? So that's all I have for today. I want y'all to really think about it. And I want to see all of you, every single one of you who hears the sound of my voice, every single one of you who's looking at me, you know, in this nice fly purple shirt. I want you to rise. So as I always say, keep rising. Peace and blessings, everyone.